Is this egg fertile? Is DeWalt here doing his job? Well, today we're going to look at different ways to test and check egg fertility and bust a few myths about what is and is not a fertile egg. Hello, welcome to English Country Life. Welcome to the lockdown chicken enclosure on a glorious sunny winter's day. My name's Hugh and today I want to talk to you about what is and is not a fertilised egg and put to bed some of the myths I was told as a youngster about this egg is fertile, that egg isn't, this is how you tell. Let's look at the real deal and show you whether you want to breed or you're just interested to know. Let's put one thing to bed. If I crack this egg into a bowl and I see a fleck of blood on the yolk or in the white, does that mean it's fertile? This one's easy. No, it doesn't. Okay? Very occasionally, an egg which is formed by passing through the oviduct of a hen will pick up a little bit of blood from the hen. It can be just that there's, as it moves through, a little tiny blood vessel just pops a little tiny bit. It doesn't mean the egg is fertile, and it also doesn't affect the taste in any way. So don't worry about eating it if you see a fleck of blood in a yolk or very occasionally in a white. So how do we know that an egg is fertile? Well, let's talk just very briefly about the biology, and that'll help us understand and we can see the difference. If you crack an egg onto a nice clean surface, somewhere in the yolk is a small white dot. It's small, but you can see it with the naked eye. And that small white dot is called the blaster disc, and that's a single female cell. In order for that to develop, it needs to be paired with a male cell. And when that happens, the blaster disc is called the blastoderm. And then cell division occurs, and those two joined cells start to divide, and they form the embryo. Now, experienced chicken keepers tell me that they can visually, with a fresh egg, tell the difference between a blaster disc and a blastoderm. I'm telling you, having tried repeatedly, I can't, not even with magnification. But after one day of incubation, be that under a chicken, be that in an incubator, oh my goodness, yes I can. And at that point, the blastoderm has become a bullseye, concentric circles where the cell division is occurring, and they are considerably bigger than the blaster disc. So you absolutely can tell with visual inspection, but for me, with my old eyes, I find one day of incubation makes it much simpler and much more certain. And when you see those concentric circle bullseyes, you absolutely know you've got a fertile egg. My favourite technique for checking an egg's viability, that it's fertilised, is a technique called candling. And what that means is you have to incubate the egg for around about 7 days. When you're quite experienced, you can do it in a shorter time period, but let's say 7 days. You can incubate the eggs under a broody hen, you can incubate the eggs in an incubator, whatever you want. Around the 7-day mark, you take them out, go into a darkened room and shine a bright light through the egg. And if it's fertile, it will be developing at that point. You'll be able to see blood vessels and organs forming inside the eggshell. It's kind of an ultrasound for eggs. It's fascinating to do. We use a thing called a candler. It's a specialist device. We get ours from Brinzo. They're fabulous and not terribly expensive. And they come with things like rubber cups so that you can sit the egg firmly on the candler. It works really well. You can get a couple of sizes of rubber cups, so you can handle different sizes of eggs. It's a super bright light, really like them, they're great. I do get asked occasionally, can I candle without having a candler? And the answer is yeah, you can, absolutely. If you're only doing this occasionally, you don't want to invest the money, just get yourself a bright torch. Okay, that's the shiny end. Put it in your hand with the shiny end just below your curled finger and thumb, turn the torch on, sit your egg on top of the torch like that, and that works really well as an improvised candler. What I like about the candling method is, there's none of that doubt about, is that a blaster disc, is that a blastoderm? And you also, of course, don't have to crack the egg open. So if they prove to all be fertile, you can return them to the hen, return them to the incubator, carry on incubating them and hatch out some chicks. This is probably my favourite fertility tester, aren't you, eh? When you think about it, lots of people have a hen, takes herself off somewhere quiet, builds a clutch of eggs, hatches them, and well, if anything proves those eggs were fertile, that's it. And you know what, there's nothing wrong with that approach, particularly if you're just hatching some eggs for fun, you've got a broody hen, she's sat on some eggs, just let her do it. There are reasons, to be fair, why candling occasionally is a good idea. And there's some schools of thought that say, if you've got an egg that's started to develop, stopped, and is then so it's not going to develop, but it's kept warm for a couple of weeks, you can start getting decay inside that eggshell. And that can give off gases, which can affect, apparently, the development of some of the other eggs. Certainly be quite unpleasant. Now, in our experience, a broody hen will generally roll out any eggs she's not happy with. But it's not a bad idea, particularly if you're using an incubator, to candle at day 7 and again a little bit later through the incubation and remove anything that's not developing properly. But it's absolutely not 100% necessary. I know loads of people, like say, hen takes itself off, comes back 3 weeks later with a whole load of little chicks behind her, had no intervention from human beings at all. So that proves those eggs were fertile. And that's how to look for a fertilised egg. Blaster disc versus blastoderm, candling around 7 days, let nature take its course. If you've enjoyed today's video, can you spare us 5 seconds? Give us a thumbs up down below. If there are any topics you'd really like to know about, be they chicken keeping or general small holding self-sufficient life, please leave us a comment down below. We'll try and make those videos for you. And if you want to see those videos and everything else we do, just click on subscribe down there and hit the bell next to it. It's completely free, but then you get to hear every time we upload a new video. For today, thanks for watching. Come back and see us soon. Take care.